Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma. Thank you so much for joining me for yoga today. In this video, we're going to do yoga for overhead athletes. Now, overhead athletes are anyone who are using an overhead motion. So think swimmers, volleyball players, tennis players, lacrosse players. This doesn't mean you have to play an overhead sport to participate in this video. We're just going to focus a little bit extra on the shoulders and upper body. Let's get started in a comfortable seated position. The reason I am filming some of these videos is because outside of YouTube, I work with a lot of athletes. I founded a new company called Zen Athlete Academy, and this works with youth, adolescent athletes who are wanting to get into yoga but maybe feel a little bit intimidated by going to a yoga studio. So in an effort to spread the word, I'm putting some of that content out here on YouTube. So I hope you enjoy. Let's find a comfortable seated position. You're always welcome to get started on a block if you'd like. Bring your hands to your knees or your thighs and just roll the shoulders out a few times. If you feel a lot of tension in your neck, you might roll out the neck a few times as well. Relax the muscles in your face, relax your jaw. And then once some of that tension kind of fades, find stillness. Shoulders stacked over the hips, sitting up tall but relaxed. As you breathe in, almost imagine someone lifting the crown of your head towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, can you feel your shoulder blades slide down your spine? Again, breathing in, gentle length. And breathing out, grounding, softening. The inhales, we find expansion, lift, or reach. And in general, on the exhales, we find compression, effort, folding, or twisting. Take 2 or 3 more deep breaths here. See if you can lengthen your inhales half a second. And then lengthen your exhales by half a second. Gently open your eyes, bring your hands to your shoulders and your elbows out wide. Start to draw some backward circles, like the elbows are trying to draw circles on the walls beside you. And then go the other direction. Pause with the elbows out wide so they're in line with the shoulders. Take an inhale. As you exhale, use your core strength to twist open to the right. Push the right elbow back behind you. Inhale back through center. Exhale, twist over to the left. Think left elbow going back behind you. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. This time, put your left hand on your right knee and your right fingertips behind you. Inhale, sit up a little bit taller. Exhale, look back over that right shoulder for 3, 2, 1. Return right hand to right shoulder, left hand to left shoulder. Try to keep that twist. Use your core. Come back through center, and then we'll take a twist over to the left. Once you get there, right hand to the left knee, left fingertips behind you. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, look back over that left shoulder. Again, the inhales to lengthen. The exhales, you might find more of a twist. 1 more breath here. Return left hand to left shoulder, right hand to right shoulder. Try to keep that twist for a moment. Then come back through center. Put your hands behind you, plant your feet in front of you, lift your hips up, reverse tabletop. If this is too much, you can turn the fingers outwards towards the side of the mat. Take a deep breath in and out. Lower your hips down. Put your opposite shin in front. Sorry about that. Reach both arms up. Bring your left hand down outside your left hip. Take your right hand up and over. Grab your left ear. Imagine your left fingertips are sliding a piece of paper away from you. Feel a gentle stretch down the left side of your neck. We'll come back through center. Reach both arms up. Right fingertips down by your side. Left hand grabbing the right ear. Imagine the right fingertips sliding a piece of paper away from you. The more you sink your right shoulder down, you'll feel a stretch along the right side of your neck. Take one more breath here. Come back through center, reach both arms up. Walk your hands forward. I like to use the fingertips when we do this to feel a little bit more length through the sides. Keep sinking your sitting bones back. And then see if you can walk your hands over to the right. Feel a gentle stretch all the way down your left side body. Walk your hands over to the left. Walk your hands back to center, cross over your ankles, find tabletop position. Turn your fingers backwards towards your knees, and if that's too intense, turn your fingers outwards to the sides of your mat. Draw clockwise circles with the shoulders over the wrists. Then switch directions. Turn your fingertips to point forward, cat-cow. As you breathe in, drop your belly, pull your chest forward and look up towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, push your shin bones down. Imagine your hands going through the mat, round your back. Inhale, cow pose. Pull your chest forward, shoulders back. Exhale, round cat pose. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, expanding your chest, your belly. Exhale, compressing your belly, pushing all the air out of your lungs. Last 2. One more full round. Tabletop position. Bring your left hand to the center and your right hand behind your head. Point your right elbow out to the right. As you breathe in, open your chest to the right. Now the right elbow goes up towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, drop your right elbow in the direction of your left wrist or towards the ground. It doesn't have to touch. Inhale, right elbow going up. Exhale, right elbow towards the left wrist. Give me one more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, right elbow up, then reach the right arm up. Roll out your right wrist. And thread your right arm all the way through. Thread the needle pose. Tops of the feet push down. You can walk your left hand forward or put your left hand into your right hand. You should feel a little stretch behind the right shoulder. Spread your toenails and push them down. Relax the muscles in your face and breathe here for 3, 2, 1. Plant your left hand beside your face. Reach your right arm all the way up. Now try to brace your core. Spin your left shin behind you. Extend your right leg back and spin the foot flat so you're in a modified side plank, opening your hips up to the right. The right shoulder is stacked over the left. Then extend your top arm, right arm, with the palm down or the pinky down. Keep pushing your hips towards the right side of your mat. Feel strong through your left shoulder and almost imagine your left hand is trying to drag back towards you for 3, 2, 1. Come back to tabletop position. Put your left or right hand in the center, left hand behind your head so the elbow points out to the left. As you breathe in, open your chest to the left. As you breathe out, bring your left elbow down in the direction of the right wrist. It does not have to touch. Inhale, left elbow to the sky. Exhale in the direction of the right wrist. Inhale, open. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, open, pause there. Send the left arm up and roll out your left wrist. Thread your left arm through, thread the needle pose. Once the left side of your face is down, you can either walk your right hand forward or put your right hand in your left hand. Minimize the space between the mat and your ankles or your shins by pushing them down. Still lengthening and extending your breath. One more. Plant your right hand beside your face. Send your left arm all the way up. Try to keep the left arm up. All at once, kind of. You're going to tuck the left toes, extend the left leg back. Spin your foot flat and your right shin behind you to open up to the left in a modified side plank. So you have to use your core to get there. Extend your top arm with the palm down or the pinky down. Push your hips towards the left side of your mat. And imagine breathing all the way down into the bottom of your left lung for 2. 1, left hand down, come back to tabletop. Spike your toes to the mat. Keep your shoulders and hips in one line. Feel gentle shoulder protraction, like the shoulder blades are spreading apart. Now tone your belly and hover your knees and shins a few inches off the mat. Gaze between your thumbs so your neck is neutral. Imagine holding a yoga block between your heels and one between your knees. Feel that gentle engagement of the inner thighs. Avoid dumping into your low back or your shoulders. Breathe for 3. Should be a bit challenging. 2. 1, drop your knees, untuck your toes, walk your hands forward, puppy pose. Forehead finds the ground or a block potentially. Really spread your toenails and push down with the top of the big toe so you kind of feel the inner thighs roll back. If you have the space here, you're welcome to bring your chin to the mat, but don't force it. If this is too much on the shoulders, separate your hands a little bit wider or walk the hands back a little bit. Think about doing cow pose here by flipping your tailbone up, arching your back, and breathing beneath your belly button for 3. 2. 1, slide forward onto your belly into a Sphinx pose. Stack your shoulders over your elbows so you're creating a 90-degree bend with your arms. Press down with the tops of your feet. Plug your shoulder heads back and imagine pulling your chest through. As you lower down, slide your hands directly forward and bring your forehead down to the ground. As you breathe in, I want you to lift your forehead and your arms up off the mat. So your arms are reaching forward. As you exhale, cactus bend your arms, squeeze your shoulder blades together, feel your chest lift more. Inhale, extend your arms. Exhale, lower, forehead to the ground. Inhale, lift head, arms, and legs this time. As you exhale, cactus bend your arms, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale, extend your arms. Exhale, everything lowers down. We'll do 2 more. Inhale, everything lift. Exhale, cactus bend and squeeze. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower everything down. Let's do 1 more. Inhale, lift everything off the ground. Exhale, cactus bend your arms. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower. Take your right arm directly out to the right with the palm down. Roll onto your right shoulder and step your left foot behind you. If this is too intense, don't roll so far back. So you get to control your own practice. Try not to force the poses to look a certain way. Focus more on the sensation, finding your breath. Give me 2 more cycles here. And then we'll roll back onto the stomach. Take your left arm out to the left, same thing. Roll onto your left shoulder, step your right foot behind you. You're always welcome to rest your head on your right hand or maybe a block or a little pillow. Roll back onto your stomach. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. So I actually want the palms to kind of line up with the bottom of your ribs. Press down with the tops of your feet. On an inhale, roll up to Cobra Pose. Pin your shoulder heads back. Avoid the shoulders shrugging up to the ears. Imagine shining your heart forward and then lower yourself right back down. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Spike your toes to the mat and squeeze your legs. How much of your thighs can you peel up off of the ground? Gaze down, neutral spine. Pull your belly button up and in. Squeeze your legs. Avoid letting the hips sag as you push down into your hands. Come up to plank pose. Feel gentle shoulder protraction, so a little space between the shoulder blades. Imagine the hip points pulling forward and your tailbone scooping back to your heels. Bend your knees, lift your hips, and push your stomach onto your thighs. Feel free to adjust the hands or the feet. Lift your outer hips and lengthen your arms. Let's begin to pedal out the legs here in downward facing dog. Bend and straighten one leg at a time to feel a stretch through your calves and your hamstrings. Then find some stillness. Feel free to put a little bend in your knees. Your heels do not have to touch the ground, but they're going in that direction. Lift your heels, walk all the way up to the front of your mat, and step your feet out really wide, about the width of your yoga mat. So the outer edges of your feet kind of line up with the outer edges of the mat. Make sure the toes point forward or even slightly in. Bend your knees quite a bit and let your arms hang totally heavy. I even like the palms kind of facing up here. Feel a gentle stretch, relaxing the palms, add a little sway side to side maybe. You might like to put the palms down with the fingers pointing back and kind of shift your weight forwards, backwards a little bit. The further you walk the hands forward, you'll get a nice stretch in the forearms and the wrists. This can be really helpful if you're holding a piece of equipment like a tennis racket for extended periods of time. All right. Let's go ahead and put a big bend in the left knee. Bring your left elbow to your left thigh. Left palm face up like you're holding a tray. Reach your right arm up. Stack the shoulders and look up at your right hand. And then we'll switch. Right elbow to the right thigh. Palm face up like you're holding a tray. Straighten your left leg. Reach your left arm up. And then just go back and forth, side to side a few times. Waking up the hamstrings. Gentle twisting. Warming up the shoulders and the elbows. One more. And then we'll meet in center. Lift up halfway, float your hands to your shins. Notice if you're doing a little cow pose with the back and you're arching, try to pull the rib cage up and in instead. Lengthen your spine. Imagine the tailbone going back and the crown of the head going forward. Forward fold, option to grab the ankles. Let's do that again. Halfway lift, no arching or rounding, nice neutral straight spine. Exhale, fold. Straight spine rise, come all the way up to stand. Bend your right elbow, place your hand at the middle of your upper back. Take your left hand, grab your right elbow for a tricep stretch. Stay here or add a gentle side bend to the left. Try not to arch around your back. Feel the bottom ribs soften down and squeeze your legs. Come back through center, release that grip, left hand at the middle of your upper back, grab your left elbow, either stay there or gentle lean to the right. A little bump of the hips to the left. Come back through center, cactus, bend your arms, try to hide your elbows and hands out of your peripheral vision. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades together, nudge your hips forward, start to lean back. Imagine you're holding light dumbbells in your hands and they're falling back. How slowly can you bind your hands behind your back? If that does not feel good, place your hands at your lower back. Let's lean back a little bit more. Bend your knees a lot and fold forward. Feel free to shake your head, yes and no, move your hips side to side. If this bind does not feel good at all, you can always just choose to grab a wrist instead. You're still gonna get that nice stretch across your chest with a little bit less intensity on the shoulders and the elbows. If the hands are clasped, think about squeezing the palms together. Release your hands and wiggle your feet in about the width of your hips. Let's lift up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Take a big step back with your left foot. Find a runner's lunge position. I like to come up onto the fingertips, but you can also put your hands on blocks. We won't be here for too long. I just want your left hand to stay down. Line your left fingertips up with your right toe tips and reach your right arm up. Do your best to level your hips. Imagine the right hip going back and down. Push the back of your left knee up. Take some very slow backstroke circles with this right arm. And eventually the right arm will either reach up or half wrap behind your back. Never force a shape. Always find the balance here. You don't want to be in pain, but you do want to stretch. You want sensation. If it feels okay on your neck, look up at the ceiling for 3, for 2, and 1. Right hand down, drop your back knee, straighten and fold over your right leg. Half splits pose. If this is super intense, you can bend the knee a little bit or put your hands on blocks. Avoid rounding your back or craning your neck. Instead, bending the knee, pulling your chest forward, and then leading with the space between the eyebrows instead of your chin. Breathe. 3. Tone your belly. 2. 1. Rebend your right knee, reach up to a low lunge. Bend your left elbow, place your hand at your upper back. You're welcome to do the same tricep stretch we did standing, or right arm down by the side. Make sure the thumb is in so the palm is facing back, so you're internally rotating your right shoulder. Then bend your elbow, the right palm faces out at your back, and you reach for your fingertips. If you can't reach your fingertips, a strap, towel, or grabbing your shirt or sports bra works as well. Think about the left elbow going up and the right elbow going down to create resistance and create the stretch. If you'd like more, you can lean back a bit for 3, 2, 1. Release that, nice and slow, fingertips down. Tuck your back toes, spin your left foot flat, and rise to warrior 1 pose. Deeply bend your right knee. Firm down the outer edge of your left foot to push your left hip forward. It's like that outer left hip is rolling towards the front of the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, hinge and sweep your arms back. Can you lift your right side belly? Feel the ribs pull up and in. Squeeze your triceps and imagine the pinkies kissing behind you. Shift your weight into your right leg for warrior 3. If this is too much with the arms reaching back, bring your hands to heart center. Steady your gaze on one unmoving spot and put a little bend in the right knee to help stabilize. This is great for any sport where you're working with your balance, jumping, or sudden movements. This helps to strengthen the ligaments and the tissues around your knee and ankle joint, improving your stability and reducing your risk of injury. Nice and slow, dive your hands to the ground and send your left leg up as high as you can, standing splits pose. You should feel a stretch down the back of your right leg for 3. Breathe for 2. And 1. Step your left foot to meet your right foot, forward fold. Flat spine, rise, come all the way up to stand. Cactus, bend your arms. Imagine you have headlights on your hips and they're pointing forward. You want to keep them pointing forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist to the right, just from the torso. Keep the right hip pushing forward. Squeeze your belly. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left, but keep that left hip point pushing forward. Think about the left elbow going back behind you. Come back through center. Cactus, bend the arms. Keep it like that and lean back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Take a long step back with your right foot. Find runner's lunge. Your left knee is stacked over your left ankle. Up on the fingertips or blocks. So you won't be in this shape for long. Just keep the right hand down. Line your right fingertips up with your left toe tips and stretch your left arm to the ceiling. Stack your shoulders. Push down with the right hand and push the back of the right knee up. So really active pose. Take some slow backstroke circles with the left arm. Try not to let the left knee fall outwards away from your body. Your left arm will reach up or half wrap behind your back. Spread your collarbones apart, and if it feels okay, look up for 3. Steady breathing. 2. And 1. Put your left hand down and drop your back knee. Straighten and fold over your left leg, half splits pose. Again, avoid rounding your back. First, bend the knee or put your hands on something elevated. Second, try not to lead with the chin, so you're crunching in the neck. Lead with the space between your eyebrows and almost feel the shoulders pull back away from the ears for 3. 2. And 1. Rebend your left knee, reach both arms up to a low lunge. Place your right hand at the middle of your upper back. Feel free to grab the right elbow and stay there. Otherwise, left arm down by your side. Make sure the thumb is turned in, palm back, so the shoulder rotates inward. Then bend the elbow. The palm will face out at your back. Maybe reach for your fingertips, strap, towel, or grab your shirt. Right elbow going up, left elbow going down. You want to feel resistance, but never pain, pulling, or snapping sensation. If that's going well, you can lean back a bit for 3. Press down with the top of the right foot for more stability. 2. And 1. Release that grip nice and slow, runner's lunge. Tuck your back toes, then spin your right foot flat and rise up, Virabhadrasana or Warrior 1. Deeply bend your left knee. Feel the outer right hip roll forward. Take a breath in. Exhale, hinge and sweep your arms back. Squeeze your triceps. Can you get the pinkies a little bit closer to each other behind you? Then slowly shift your weight forward into your left leg, Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Do your best to square your hips by dropping your outer right hip. Steady your breath on steady your gaze on one unmoving spot, and definitely steady your breath as well. You can keep reaching the fingers back or pull the hands to heart center. Draw the ribs up and in for 3. Don't be surprised if side 2 is totally different. 2. And 1. Standing splits. Dive your hands to the ground. Send that right leg up as high as you can. Fold over your left leg and feel that hamstring stretch for 3. For 2. 1. Step your right foot to meet your left foot, hip width. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach both arms. Cactus, bend your arms. Imagine those headlights on your hips. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist your torso to the right, elbows wide. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Keep the left hip pushing forward. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean back with cactus arms. Inhale, reach both arms up, stand. Exhale, fold forward. Take a big step back with your left foot. Let's walk it over to the left. Turn all 10 toes in the same direction. Then we're gonna spin the heels in, toes out, and come up to goddess pose with the hands on the thighs. Goddess pose is great for strengthening the muscles in your legs and lower body. We're just gonna keep the hands to the thighs for a shoulder stretch. Drop your right shoulder in the direction of your left knee and kind of look over the left elbow. Come back through center and switch. Drop your left shoulder in the direction of your right knee, look over your right elbow. Come back through center, straighten your legs and rise. Turn your toes in, fold forward. Squeeze your legs, place your hands on the mat, lining your fingertips up with your toe tips as much as possible, maybe even walking the hands back. Spend a few moments here really squeezing your legs. You might even see kind of the quadriceps engaging or the kneecaps lifting up. Now we're gonna take an awesome shoulder stretch, kind of more of a passive stretch. I want you to walk your hands pretty far forward and then shift your weight back into your heels. Almost like you're trying to drag the hands back. You should feel a nice stretch kind of through the armpits. So I'm not putting a lot of weight in my hands, they're just kind of resting there, but they're gripping a little bit so they're not sliding back. Give me one more breath here. Walk your hands back, lift up halfway. And then we'll walk towards the front of the mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left foot, plank pose. Lower down to your forearms, so you're in a forearm plank. The forearms are parallel, your hands are not clasped. Again, feel that gentle shoulder protraction. Scoop your tailbone towards your heels. Then we'll begin to walk the feet forward into dolphin pose. Your head does not touch the mat in dolphin pose. It's basically down dog on your forearms. So you're really pushing down into the forearms, lifting up from the shoulders so that your head does not touch the mat. Gaze back at your feet, so the neck is neutral. Just like down dog, you always have the option to bend a bit into the knees. This should be a bit challenging. If it's painful on the shoulders, please skip. Now, you're welcome to stay here, dolphin pose. If you'd like to try some dolphin push-ups, these are great for strengthening the muscles in your back, like your lats, your rhomboids, your serratus, also your triceps. If you'd like to do these with me, we'll do 5 of them. You're gonna look forward towards your thumbs. Keep your hips high, try to lower your nose towards your thumbs, and then press yourself back. Once again, lower nose to thumbs, and back. 3 more, nose to thumbs, back up, last 2. Last one. Drop down to your knees, come up to camel pose, counter pose. Hands to the low back, your knees are directly under your hips, tops of the feet down. Move your tailbone down a little bit, lift your chest, and then start to lean back. Nudge your hips gently forward the entire time. You are more than welcome to stay here, or you're welcome to reach back towards your heels if you have the space, but don't force it. Keep pushing the hips forward, drop your head back, stretch your throat, spread the collarbones for 3, 2, and 1. Hands return to the waist, come back up. Put your hands down, cat pose, round your back. Awesome. Let's bring the knees together, feet together, spike your toes to the mat and take a seat back on your heels. Now, this is a great stretch for anyone who spends time on their feet. We rarely, if ever, stretch out the fascia or the connective tissue in the bottoms of the feet. So we're just gonna sit here. It should be pretty uncomfortable. While we do this, we're going to interlace our hands and roll out our wrists. If this is extremely painful, you can always untuck your toes and take a hero's pose, just kneeling on the heels instead, with the tops of the feet down. Just a little bit longer, extend your right arm forward, fingers down, pull the fingers back towards you, get a stretch down the right forearm. Release and switch, left hand, pulling fingers back gently, breathe into your feet, you can do it. 3, 2, 1, release. Hands to the mat, tabletop. Untuck your toes and tap out your feet. Should feel pretty nice. Awesome. Let's step it back to plank pose. We won't be here long. Just slowly lower all the way to your belly for 5. Go as slow as you can. 4. Hug the elbows in. 3, 2, 1. Take your right leg out to the right, 90 degrees with the foot flexed. Thread your left arm underneath, like thread the needle pose. This time we're gonna bring the right hand into the left hand like you're clapping your hands. And then on a big inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Imagine drawing a rainbow over you until that right arm falls open. Try to get the right shoulder all the way down to the ground, even if you have to lift your right knee up, totally fine. Feel space across your chest. Imagine reaching your hands in opposite directions. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. Slowly bring that right hand back to meet the left hand. Push your right hand down to help unthread the left arm. Extend your right leg back behind you and we'll switch. Left leg out to the left, 90 degrees. Thread your right arm underneath like thread the needle. Place your left hand into your right hand like you're clapping your hands. And we're gonna lift that left arm up towards the ceiling, nice and slow, like you're drawing a rainbow over yourself. Left arm falls out to the left. Try to get the left shoulder down, even if the left knee has to lift. Feel space across your chest. Shoulder blades flat. Deep breaths here. Slowly take that left hand back to meet the right hand. Push down into your left hand to unthread the right arm. Extend your left leg back behind you. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders and roll yourself up to cobra pose. Take the knees out wider, child's pose. Big toes touch, forehead down. Feel gentle length down your sides, from the pinky fingers all the way to the hips. Take 2 more breaths. Inhale up to tabletop. Let's meet in a seated position. And lie all the way down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock gently side to side. We'll take a bridge pose, option to bind. Feet flat on the mat, scoop your tailbone and lift your hips up. You might like to bind your hands underneath you to feel a little bit more space across your chest. Think about walking the shoulder blades towards each other, pushing your chest towards your chin slightly. Can you grip a little bit less with the toes? Use more the heel, ball of the foot for 3. Breathe for 2. And 1, release that grip, slowly lower your hips down. Take your legs up, waterfall pose. It might feel nice to also extend your arms up and just kind of let the fingers be limp like noodles, totally relaxed. Relax your toes, your fingers, your ankles, and your wrists. Let the spine be really heavy on the ground. When you're ready, extend your feet towards the front corners of your mat and your arms by your sides. Slide the shoulder blades a little bit more underneath you. The heart lifts slightly. Make any adjustments you need to feel more comfortable. Scan your body for where you might still be holding on. Try to relax the fingers, the palms. Release the control over your breath. In these final few moments of our practice, I'd like you to feel immense gratitude for your body and the ways in which it moved for you. For your ability to potentially try something new or do something uncomfortable, maybe challenging or frustrating at times. Growth and change only happens when you do something novel, new, or push your boundaries. Continuing to only do the same things will not get you new results. Spend a few breaths here, thanking your body, yourself, for spending the time on your mat. And when you feel ready, wiggle your fingers and your toes. You might gently take your head side to side. Eventually, stretch those arms overhead. Draw your knees in. Give yourself a squeeze. Roll or rock up to a seat. Try to keep your eyes closed if possible. Sit up tall. Bring your hands to your heart center. Full breath in and out. Namaste. Thank you for choosing to practice with me. I hope you enjoyed this class and your shoulders, your upper body feel strong and stretched at the same time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if there's a specific sport that you play, you want a yoga class for that sport, let me know and I will make it happen. Make sure you check out Zen Athlete Academy. I've been working super hard on it, so maybe if you are a youth athlete or your kids are youth athletes, you might be interested in joining my program. It's a 5-week program focused all on yoga, stretching, breathing, and mindfulness. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and I'll see you back next week.